I read 3 books in the month of July, and if you stick around, I'll tell you all about them. Hello readers! In July, with the Libri Labra book club, I read The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. The Immortalists is Chloe Benjamin's second novel, and it follows the 4 Gold Children. It's told in each of their perspectives, and it starts when they're young, and their brother Daniel takes them to see a Roma psychic that tells them each the date of their death. The Gold Children live drastically different lives, and we basically follow them up until their deaths. I think the book was well written, and it does ask the question, does anybody want to know the date of their death? And does knowing the date make it happen? Like, did them knowing the dates of their death become a self-fulfilling prophecy? I read other reviews for this after reading it because I was left with a strange feeling. I think my gut reaction was to want to give it 3 stars, but I also felt like there was so much in it that perhaps I missed or I didn't fully understand, and it feels like a book that's worth a reread. So one of the complaints that other people had was that they lost interest in the individual stories after the first or second person. I didn't find this to be the case. I think while I was in the story, I felt very much in the story and I was enjoying the journey of the story, but I guess I wanted to feel like I had a deeper connection to the message. Perhaps it's not quite as deep as I want it to be, but I still think it deserves a reread before I fully decide that. If you've read The Immortalist and you'd like to check out our discussion, I'll be sure to link to that in the description below. The next book I read this month was with the BookTube chicks, and we read Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is Elizabeth Acevedo's 3rd book, and similarly to The Poet X, it is told in verse. It's also told from the perspective of 2 sisters. One lives in the Dominican Republic, one lives in New York, and neither realized the other existed until there was a tragedy that caused them to discover the other. The book deals with grief and colorism and what it's like to be Dominican in the Dominican Republic and what it's like to be Dominican American. It made me cry, and while I don't think it was necessarily quite as hard-hitting as The Poet X, I still really enjoyed it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If you've read Clap When You Land and you'd like to check out our discussion, I'll be sure to link to that in the description below. And the last book I read was The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. I would like to say thank you to Quirk Books for sending me the arc of Bookish and the Beast, which just recently came out on August 4th, and then soon after, I received a paperback copy of The Princess and the Fangirl, in addition to a finished copy of Bookish and the Beast. So once again, thank you. And because I now have 2 copies of this, I would love to give one away. So stick around to the end of the video and I'll let you know what you have to do to enter. This is the 2nd book in the Once Upon a Con series, and it is a retelling of The Prince and the Pauper. It's told from 2 perspectives. One is Imogen Lovelace, who is a nerd and she's super into Starfield, and the other character is Jessica Stone, who plays Amara in Starfield. I know that initially I wasn't too enthused with the fact that it was a Prince and the Pauper retelling. That's not a retelling that I'm super connected with, unlike Cinderella in the first one, but I really enjoyed it. I love the unique elements she included in it and how she's able to make these retellings absolutely her own, how they revolve around Starfield and Excelsicon, and we do get to see some of the characters from Geekarella. It's also pretty cool how she includes them. They're not like major characters, but we get to see them living on and still doing their day-to-day things and just having them present. And I love it. In it, you'll find tons of pop culture references, and Excelsicon seems very much based on DragonCon in regards to the ways that she describes it, which is pretty cool. I haven't personally attended DragonCon myself, but I know things about it. It's just, it's so nice to be able to see geeky culture in the way that Ashley Poston has presented it. I think Ashley Poston does an incredible job of creating a diverse cast and allowing them just to be and live their lives. So we have these two characters really trying to find their place in the world, and they have this opportunity to swap and they get to discover things about themselves. And there is an exploration of like inner geekiness and what that means, and self-esteem and self-confidence. romance, and there's a hate to love romance. Honestly, I could go on and on. For me, I absolutely loved it. It's not something that's like super serious. It's light and relatively fluffy, but it's 5 out of 5 stars for me, and I hope that she continues to write in this series forever and ever and ever and ever. So, to win a copy of The Princess and the Fangirl from me by Ashley Poston, please leave a comment talking about one of the 3 retellings that these books are based on. So something about Cinderella or The Prince and the Pauper or Beauty and the Beast. However you want to tie that in, whether it's your connection to any of those stories, which one's your favorite. You decide what it is you want to say, but I'd like to see that in your response. And I will pick a commenter at random and I will make sure to send them this book. I'd like to give a quick commenter love shout out to From Just to Use Services. I think her channel might be From Me to Use Services. I'm not sure, but thank you for commenting on the last video. Thank you for commenting on all the videos you've commented. I really appreciate it. Jess reads a lot of different romances, and she's also a virtual assistant. So if that's something that you need help with, you may want to check her out. How many books did you read in July? I assume it was more than me. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.